Hi, everyone. I'm Summer,
I'm Carrie.
and this is Hopelexia Podcast.
Join us to talk about sex, drugs, and self improvement.
So we have the listener submitted topic request. Let's see. I'll read it out word for word. Spring is the red flag season. I did not ask for elaboration on exactly what all that meant.
I could see
In
because winter
hindsight,
is
I kind of
cuffing
wish I
season.
had. Oh.
So I could see like spring, like I was stuck with you and I enjoyed it in that honeymoon phase when it was cold, but now it's hot outside and I don't have to be with you all the time and I'm seeing things I don't enjoy about you. I could see it.
So you're just noticing and all that little.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. So they go on to say, talk about how to know when your ex is trying to come back. What is it? Why does the universe do this? Okay, they always circle back around. Like
Mm-hmm.
now, I have not had this I haven't had that many like bad breakups where it was horrible, right? Though
Mm-hmm.
I hear from people that happens too. Like even, and I don't know why they would try to come back if it was a bad breakup. But most of mine are, haven't been on bad terms, so they circle back around for years. Like I got a couple months ago, I got a text message from someone that I was hooking up with over the course of, I don't know, several months until they got back with their ex. My youngest, it was like 10 years ago. I'm like, why are you texting me after a decade? And also, oh my God, I've had the same phone number that whole.
Same. There was a guy that I was seeing for like a year and I blocked him on like everything because he was a lot. And he would get new numbers like every couple of months just to
Oh
text
no.
me and call me and like all kinds of things. And like he never like did anything. He was just like a lot as a person and I didn't enjoy being around him. So I blocked him. And every time he'd get a new number, he would just call me and that and then he would text me the same thing every single time. Hey beautiful. That's it. And now he did it again this week and it's been like
Oh
6 months.
my God. Again?
It's been 6 months since the last time he texted me and now he's doing it again.
Oh my God. Guys. And not just guys, girls.
I've blocked him.
No is a complete answer. No response is a no. Blocking your number is a no. Oh my
I've blocked
Lord.
him 6 times now on 6 different phone numbers.
Oh my gosh. And why do people do this? Like I will never, and it's not just guys. Guys do it more often. But like I have a friend who has had this problem with a girl. Like
Mm-hmm.
he would they were working together on something professionally, and then she would make comments, suggestive comments, and make him uncomfortable, and he wouldn't reply.
Yeah.
And then finally he was like, no, I'm not okay with this. And then so then she would go back to, okay, only professional stuff, and then she would circle back around and try it again. And it's like, why do people do this?
I don't know. Like I sometimes wonder if it's just like the thing in your brain that's like I can't have it. Like somebody's telling me I can't have it, so I want it more. Like when somebody tells you like you can't have like a piece of cake or whatever, I'm just like, well now I want it even more. I sometimes
Because
wonder
we're
if it's like
objects
that.
to them and not people.
Yeah, like legitimately. Like
Yeah,
it's like I think that's more towards like men thinking that way about women. I don't know
probably
like
because they're more
what it is.
socialized, that because that's more their socialization, is they're taught to see us as objects.
I
I
don't know
have
what it would be
one
for women
who,
though.
I had a I had a friendship first, and then a sexual relationship. So we were friends with benefits for, I don't know, I'm terrible with time, maybe a year or two. And this was, Lord, a long time ago. I mean, it had to be like, it had to have ended, let's see, it had to have ended like 2017, 2018, something like that, I'm guessing. But it's been a minute, okay? He still periodically, and I have him blocked on several things. And so what had happened was I got to a point, I was like, I don't want to have a sexual relationship with you anymore. And he's thinking, okay, can we still be friends? Okay, fine. You know, I have no problem with that. I just don't want to. But then he kept bringing the conversation. Every time we would talk, would bring the conversation back to sex. And I'm like, no, I don't want to discuss that with you either. I don't want you sending me these stupid little porn clips. I don't want, like, no. And finally, one day he kept doing it. I'm like, stop. And I just blocked him, right? And so even now, he still creates new social media accounts and follows my accounts. So like when I ran for state representative in 2020, he followed all my socials for the campaign. And then I believe he follows the podcast. He definitely follows my homesteading blog. And so he just kind of shifts around. And then he was like making comments towards the end of last year. He was kept making comments on I think it was Twitter, anyways. And I wasn't responding, and I just was ignoring them. So then suddenly this random Twitter account gets created, right? And it follows me. Okay, whatever. I don't even look most of the time. At who, the new follows or whatever. But then it tags me in a tweet. What do I have to do to get her to follow me? So that's what makes me go look at their profile. They followed only like maybe 20 or so people, and it was all porn accounts and me. And I'm like, so I scroll through there seeing who they follow. I'm like, oh, I know who this is. Yeah. So I confronted them like on me, and I'm like, no, you don't get to make demands of me. And I'm pretty sure I know who this is. And no. And they deleted that account. But then a couple weeks ago, another account has been created that follows me using the name of someone else that I used to see, but with the same following patterns and stuff of that previous account. But see, he knew about the other because we had been friends while I was seeing that other person. So he knew me.
That's so creepy.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Y'all don't do that. Don't do that to people.
I wonder, like, also I think a lot of it's because, like, when we're little, we're told, like, boys are just boys, and if they're mean to you or, like, pull your, like, all those kind of things, like, I wonder, like, how much of that, like, has affected, like, how they think about things. Like, because I wonder, like, sometimes, like, with the women, like, if a guy, like, ignores them or tells them no or whatever, they think, like, they're just being mean, but they actually really like me. Like,
it's
girl.
true. I also wonder, like, and I wish maybe the guys who listen to this, if y'all could let us know, like, how many of y'all were taught the whole be persistent thing, right?
Yeah.
Because there's that whole myth of playing hard to get and be persistent and stuff. And, like, when you start actually listening to the stories, and it was so normalized, like, even in my parents' generation, which are boomers, and before that, it was just like they wore you down, and that's just you just were expected to accept it. And if you were saying no, I don't want to be with him when he's pursuing you, like, people would start actively putting pressure on them, like, but he's doing all these things, why wouldn't you? I'm like, no, we don't do that anymore. No.
That happened to me in college. there was this guy who just like every time he saw me, he'd be like, "So when are we gonna go out on a date? When are we gonna go hang out? When are you gonna let me take you to dinner?" And I'm just like, I don't want to. Like every single time I would tell him that, I was like, "Oh, no thanks, I'm good. Like unless we're going as like a friend group or whatever, like I don't really want to go." And he just would do it, and he did it for 2 years. And I like finally he just started seeing like another girl, and I was like, "Oh, thank God!" Like I don't. I'm so
Listen,
tired of it.
people, if you have asked and she said no, don't ask again.
Yeah, it's
Continuing
not
to
an
ask
invitation.
is called harassment. That's what that is. Like, don't do that shit. Oh my
Not an
God.
invitation to ask again. Like
Why are we still having to explain this in 2023?
unless I make the decision to be like, hey, actually, like we should let's go to dinner or whatever, then that's okay. But like, don't ask again if you already asked and I said no. Like,
Right. Have you seen the TikTok that's been going around where the one it's a young guy and he's like thinks he's educating us. He's like, ladies, there's at least one of your male friends that's been hiding their feelings for you.
mm-hmm.
And all these people are stitching it with like, yeah, we know. We're
They don't do
hoping.
a good job
We're
hiding
hoping
it.
he will find someone else and leave us the fuck alone.
Real. I like. I don't know if it. I don't know like what's up. Like in high school, it happened to me too. Like I was in a relationship for all of high school because I thought that's what you're supposed to do. You know. But there was a guy that I was friends with, and I met him in church youth group actually. And then in high school or whatever,
We should do a show one time about the ways that
that youth group fucked us up.
Yes, absolutely.
Because he knew I had a boyfriend, and he would like try his hardest to piss my boyfriend off, and he would message me every day on Facebook, every day, and just say, "Hey, what's up? How are you? What you doing?" Every day.
Wow.
Every fucking day. And he would like try his hardest to take like pictures with me at like football games or whatever because he's a football player and I was in like color guard and marching band and stuff. And like everybody just took pictures together, and he would try his hardest to like get me to take pictures with him, and I would always pull like friends in with me to do it. And it was such a pain. I was like, I have a boyfriend and I've told you no. I've ignored you. I've told you I don't like you like that. Like, I don't know what else I can do at this point besides like kick you in the dick or something. I don't know.
Right.
Like,
That's the thing. It's like I've tried every non-violent possibility. What else do you want me to do?
I did have to do that one time also in high school. Oh, actually as an adult too. I was at a bar one time and this guy wouldn't leave me alone. And I had told him no multiple times. And so I went outside and I was trying to leave. And he like put me up against the wall with like his arms like around my head. And I just like punched him in the throat and walked away. So that works if they won't leave me alone like in person. Unless there's like no other people around and then it's dangerous. Only recommend doing if you have people with you.
You know, I had a conversation. I kind of had a slight argument with my dad the other night about my daughter has been seeing this boy and you're going to go to prom or whatever. But they haven't really been alone yet, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, and anyway, Dad was insisting if he's going to take her to prom, he needs to come pick her up. Like, no, he doesn't. She needs to have her own way to get home if she needs to. Like, do you realize what a dangerous situation you're creating? Oh, this boy's harmless. I'm like, you know how many boys I knew growing up that assaulted their dates or coerced them?
And everybody
That people said that
harmless.
about.
Or like
Exactly. Like I almost had to push a boy out of my truck driving 70 miles an hour down the highway because he was literally assaulting me while I was driving, just because I was driving him home because he needed a ride. He got stranded at school.
And And people wonder why women don't want to like date men anymore. Like I would like most of us would rather just be single and like do our own thing.
Well, I don't think people wonder. I think people know. I think that's why there's this backlash from men about basically forcing us back into the circumstances that forced women to become the property of men, because they're not willing to do better, but they feel entitled and want us to be forced into that because they know that they know that the offer's not appealing.
Yeah. I think it's also a red flag if they listen to those stupid fucking podcasts like all the like creepy men have, and they're like, you know, like as an alpha male, like I wouldn't have. Fuck that shit. Like,
if they use the term alpha male, I'm done.
It makes me laugh because like I saw like a meme going around like with the whole alpha male thing, and they were like every time people say they're like an alpha male or whatever, I just think about computer programming and how
Yes, I
alpha
shared
male,
that
like,
one.
alpha is like the crappy like buggy version of everything and it doesn't work
Not
right.
fit for the public.
And then like the beta version is like the improved one that everybody can use and runs smoothly. I'm just like, that's accurate.
Right. Well, and also like the whole concept of alpha, right, was derived from a
Study on wolves.
That turned out to be incorrect and has been long debunked. And even the person who formulated that theory came out publicly and said they were wrong. But they're literally still using that line of thinking to explain why. And I'm like, so what you're telling me is you're uneducated and prone to just accept whatever fits your narrative that you're trying to formulate. So that's going to be a no from me.
Yeah, because like if they even like read the study, like the original one before he ever like said that he was wrong, like it was wolves in captivity. And like males of like any species are gonna fight because they want to assert like dominance or whatever and be like whatever. But that's in captivity. Like in
Right. Like
wild,
it's no
like
big shock that right. It's no big shock that if they're in captivity they behave differently than in the wild.
Yeah.
Of
like,
course they do.
In the wild, like they don't give a fuck. Like unless you're like bothering them or like getting in their space, like their territory or whatever, like they don't give a fuck about you. And a lot of times like they always talk about like the male lion being like the head of the pride or whatever, but like it's always the female lions that do all the shit.
Male lions are practically fucking useless.
All
Literally
they're
the
there for
only
is
thing they
breeding.
do is yes.
They don't even hunt for their own food.
Which is honestly, I think it's a tell when these alpha men start comparing themselves to lions, because the reality is that's what they want. They want women to serve them and do everything for them.
It makes me appreciate that picture of the female lion biting the male lion's like balls like a lot, and he just looks so depressed and sad, and I'm like, that's what you get. You don't do shit, you just lay there.
Oh goodness.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I do find it amusing when they always circle back around, which I mean, I think it's flattering sometimes, but at the same time I'm just like, if it ran its course, just move forward. Don't text me after, a few years.
Especially like hookups. Like if I don't talk to you again, like after we hook up, like if I don't like respond or whatever, or like send you a message, like I probably don't want to like do it again or talk to you. So like,
oh, but now that's bad. Haven't you seen all the people who are like going on about how ghosting is toxic and not responding is toxic? Like, no, I'm entitled to not respond. Well,
like
it hurts their feelings. Well, I can't
either.
manage their feelings. That is not my responsibility to manage their feelings. Like, and I just saw a thing. There was a situation with someone I know that happened yesterday. Like their partner left, they've only been seeing each other a few months, but it doesn't really matter. Like, even if it had been a long-term relationship, they left. This person doesn't have social media. I don't even think they have a phone. So it's not like they could call or text or whatever. So when they left the house, they left a note, thank you for everything. But, this is over for me. I wish you the best. And people were going off, like demonizing this person about how awful that is and you deserve better. What? Like, they have the right to leave the relationship if this isn't what they want. It's not like they disappeared and,
Like they left a note, like explaining, like they
right.
could have just vanished.
That's what I
without a
said.
trace.
It could have just vanished, and then you're like, are they okay? What happened? But no, like
Yeah, it sucks, like, if people do that to you and, like, you liked them or, like, had fun or whatever and, like, they don't answer you, like, it sucks, but, like, move on. Like, there's other people that you're gonna have just as good a time with and, like, connect with. Like, there's so many people on this planet. Like, why does it have to be this one person?
Well, and that's what I think it all boils down to. I think it all boils down to this feeling of ownership and this paradigm of we are entitled to own our partner. I mean, that's the underlying premise of monogamy, essentially. And that's it's the whole idea of this whole linear idea of, relationships. You've got your talking stage and you're dating and you're exclusive and all of that it's all premised on the idea of my goal is to have a partner that I own. Essentially, it's treating people like property, and it's just so messed up.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And to be sure you never miss an upload, make sure you turn your notifications on. And please come join us on social media so we can continue these conversations in between episodes. You'll find us at Hypoxia Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.